Okay, greetings. This is Eduardo Jambo. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to build a multiple language form using the required attribute. So before we begin, quick reminder that I do a live stream every single day at 2 p.m. Eastern. You're free to join in the live chat, request any programming or lifestyle topics. As you can see here, there's a link takes you right to the live stream, and if you don't want to do that, you can simply watch the video. The video is also embedded in the article. I'll scroll down a little bit later and you'll see the live stream. Also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. And thank you very much for everybody subscribed so far this month. I have some really exciting stuff coming up. Can't wait. It's actually this month. I hope you guys will like it. And I'm still sorry I'm using the webcam. I'm just busy. I'm having some drama with chickens, trying to finish what do you call it, a shed outside. It's one of the reasons I'm having all these nuts flying in here. I'm really trying to finish it, but I said hopefully to finish up this week, put all the tools outside, get rid of the nuts and the nut flies, the little tiny annoying little things. Okay, so with that said, let's actually get into this tutorial. So sometimes when you create a form, you have a required field. For example, it could be for the name, it could be your number, age, or email address or URL. One of the required fields is obviously it's in English. You'd say something like, please fill out this field. So if you want that to be, if you want multiple languages, what I used to think in the past was that you had to use JavaScript. Looks like you still do. There's some people say that if, for example, if your web browser uses a different language, it's able to detect it. If you put the language in the HTML, we say, for example, lang equals French or something. I tried that. That didn't work for me. It might be because maybe it's based on the locale. Obviously, my locale is English. That might be it, but I doubt it. So I had to use JavaScript, which I'll do in this tutorial. But if it does work for you, let me know. I would actually maybe try it out in a virtual machine on a different computer. Just tell me what language you use as your default, because I tried it in the browser, it never worked. Okay, so the required field, it's a Boolean attribute that can be added to form elements to make them mandatory. So if the user tries to submit the form without filling out the required field, the browser will display a built-in error message in the language defined in the browser HTML language attribute. You can use the required attribute, as I said before, for input elements like text, email, password as an example. Select drop-downs and the text area. There's also, in the input ones, it's not just for the text part with an input box. You can also do it for checkboxes and also for radio buttons as well. So I have some sample code here, which we're going to talk about. So the line you see here, which says HTML, this is where you're supposed to put you put the language. However, I wasn't able to trigger it, so I will just do it in JavaScript instead. That will be more cross-platform. It's not like I'm using a very old browser. I'm using like I tried it in Firefox and Chromium as well, which is the basis for the Chrome browser as an example. So this is just a styling. So this is not a styling tutorial today, but I just like to bling it out a little bit. And here's the JavaScript. You see, we get the language. So the language, for example, the default is set to English US. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the URL, and based on the variable there, I'm going to set the language. So for example, if it's in English, English US, you see the name, email, message, submit, and the validation, it will say please fill out this field. I'll change it to please enter a valid, for example, email address. And for English Canada, it's exactly the same, even the spelling and everything. For French, I chose French Canada, and you can see the name becomes nom, email becomes courriel, message is message, and submit is envoyer. Validation, so example, it would say translated from fill out this field, or please enter a valid email address. My French is pretty bad. You know what? Let me butcher it just for not for fun. I'm not making fun of French, especially French Canadian. Vous vouliez remplacer champ and vouliez saisir un adresse courrier valid. Okay, and then here I have the JavaScript for the language, the translations part, not the switcher yet. So as you can see here, we grab the label for the name, label for the email, label for the message, and the submit button, and the language values. Then we can change the text values of them. And here is we've override the validation messages. We do the same thing. So the form, we select all the input and the text areas, and you see with the for each here. And invalid, we sent the we use our own custom validity. So we reset it first, and then we use, remember those variables in the JavaScript object, we just set them there. And then of course we also want to change our own custom message when the input changes, so we just remove it. And what else we do here? So when the page is loaded, we also run our .dom content loaded. We get our language from the URL, as I said before. Then we apply the translation language. And then we have the form, which is just the demo form. That's the ID of the form. As you can see here, you see we have a language switcher. It's just a select with the options inside. The options, you see it's English US, English Canada, and French Canada. And yes, the French spelling for Canada is the same. It's not like Le Canada or whatever, just Canada as well. And then here's the ID for the form. It's this demo form, and see we have a name, we have a label and an input. And the input for the name is also, the type is also text. And we have, it's also required field here, email, same thing, is required. We have a message, which is a text area, it's also required. And then we have the submit button, which is just the input type submit. And the ID, just give it a submit hyphen button. And that's it. And then we have our script here, where we get it from the, as I said, from the URL, and then we apply it. So that's it. So we can run this now. I think I have a demo down here as well. Where is it here? Yeah, I do have a demo here as well. So I have an interactive demo, so you can play with the interactive demo as well. You see, I did style it nicely, but let's open up. So you don't need a web browser. I mean, you don't need a web server for this. You can simply just drag and drop this into your favorite web browser. So I'm going to open up Chromium here. Okay, I'll just put it here, and you just drag and drop it. There we go. And I forgot to put it, press enter. Yeah, there we go. So that's it's here. You see, by default it's US English. So for example, if I want to change it to US Canada, I can change it to US Canada here. Sorry, US Canada, English Canada, and I can also change it to English French. You see, I changed it to English French here. By default, Google tries to do the translation, which you can ignore that. You can see change the labels, and here as well. Now let me go back to US, English US. So if I hit submit here, you see it will say please fill out this field. That's the default validation message, or the prompt. It comes up, see this will pop up here. So for example, if I put a name in here, you hit submit again, and it's going to go to email. You see it says please fill out this field. So I'll put the wrong one, and you can see it tells you please include an @ symbol in the email address. Ed is missing that, so I do that. It's still incomplete, so I need to put something else, and now it's valid. And then for the this one here, you see it says fill out this field. So you get the point. So that's the US English. Now if I go to Canada here, same thing. It should be the same. So I can put add there, and you can see here I've just put add, and you see it's the same thing because it's exactly the same. Okay, but the reason I separate is because Canada has that in English. It uses some British things, it uses some US things, then it has its own, which is not neither British or the US. And sometimes both are valid. You can spell it in English, so English US or English UK. So it's a little bit confusing sometimes, but I left it there because you guys can use this to expand it. So as I said, I did style it. This is not a styling tutorial because if I'm going to make a form, I might as well make it look a little bit pretty instead of the same boring one. Okay, so as you can see now, if I go to French, so by default, if you just use your regular browser, it will still put this in English. However, that's why I said I use JavaScript to change it. Now, guess what happens if I press the submit button, the envoyer? You can see it changed the prompt. You see now it's in French. But you see the one thing I forgot to change was I should have. You also have to change the title. The title as well. You see the title is still in English. So that's one thing. That's an easy thing to do. You can just simply change the title. Just put a title attribute and change that as well. That's easy to do. The reason I did this, my goodness, a long time ago. I think about 12 years ago. One of my clients is subcontracted stuff to me, so I had to work with forms. I've told you guys how I had to sort out like billions of records, so I couldn't use databases. I had to do it on the command line. That's why I became a keyboard warrior, not a keyboard warrior, but a command line warrior. So those are the type of things, because some people just submit forms. There was no validation, so the records would be empty. So I have to clear out the empty record if they're missing like a name or an email address. I would have to empty out, remove those records. So that's how I became familiar with this. And obviously, because in Canada here, it's English and French as the official language, at least in the past. So you need to be able to translate them pretty quickly. So that's how this came up. I'm surprised I never did a tutorial on it until today, but that's how it is. So you can control it. What I'm saying is you can control it yourself. So when people pick the specific language you want, you can do this instead of relying on their on the built-in web browser prompts. Another problem with the built-in web browser prompts is sometimes you might want to put a better message. So that's another. You can also repurpose what I'm teaching you here, guys, today, is to repurpose it in any way you want. So for example, obviously, like the way you repurpose the you type in whatever you want in the label and the placeholder field. You can do the same thing with with these prompts, the error prompts. Okay, so again here, if I type in, for example, add and hit this, you see then it goes here because there's nothing in here. So for example, if I just type add again, and you can see now it's going to go back to English. You see that it says please. And you see in this particular one, it says please include an @ symbol. The @ symbol in the email address. So see, that is clearly English. That's not French. So that's what I'm saying. This is one of the problems with this method. But I'm saying is that you have to catch it. You can do this. I've done this before, so you can do this as well. Or you can even just disable these pop-ups and just create your own like little, even the dialogue and everything. There's so many ways. There's so many things you can do with that. So that's it. So this was just a simple thing for you guys to do. Now, I want to show you something. You remember in the code, if you go back to the code, if we go all the way to the top here, all the way to the top, you see here it says HTML, but it doesn't give us the actual language, right? So if we inspect this one now, come on, inspect, you see here, let me zoom in. What happened to the, it's in the body here. Yeah, you see here it says French. You see, it added the it's French Canada. You see, FR-CA. It added it here. So, for example, if I go back to say US, you see it says EN US. However, I said even though this is here and the page was actually reloaded, it doesn't actually pick it up. I think they no longer do that. So, for example, if I go here, I go to my where is it, settings? Where's settings? Settings here, and I go to languages. You see here, you can say, oh, Edward, is because you don't have. So, for example, it's supposed to work if and I'll do it here. So I'm gonna add French. I think they do have the French. I'll type in French. You see, they do have French Canada. So I'm going to add French Canada. You know what? I'm actually going to add all the French. I'm going to add all of them. Okay? So I've added all the French languages here. And in fact, I'm going to take French Canada here and move it all the way to the top. See, it's right at the top, right? French Canada is right at the top. Okay, so I'm going to close the browser. Right? I'm going to close the browser. Open up the browser again. Okay, again I'm going to go to settings just to show you that it is there. Remember, I closed it down. I don't have any other instance of this browser. So if we go back to languages, as you can see, French Canada is still right at the top. Now, if I go and drag and drop this there, you see it's default again to English US. So I'm going to choose French Canada. Okay, so you see it's French Canada. Now if I type this, you see it says this here. That's fine. So if I just type ed, you see it's still in English. So that even though I also went ahead and also deleted the other languages and only left French languages, it still didn't work. So I'm not sure because it's my locale. I just don't know how to get it working that way. So that's why I just went back here to the settings and just go to languages, because that did not work. So then this one, I just remove it, and we go down here and I can remove. Now some people were saying that it's because French is the one at the top. I tried that as well. I tried moving all the Frenches right at the top, and if I even changed the spell check here to French, and I also changed this to French to all of them. None of them. It still did not work. Okay, so that's basically the end of the tutorial. Just a simple one today. I just want to show you how you can do your own. Don't be discouraged. I'm saying if you're a programmer, there are always ways around all this. And I said you can simply just add a title. If you don't understand what I'm talking about title, I'll show you what I'm talking about. If we go back to the HTML part, see, this is HTML. So you can add a title to the, for example, you see the label here, you can add a title here. So for example, I'll give you an example. I can say title equals, what was this one? The name. Okay. And I'm also going to put a title here for this input. I'll put title, if I can spell, title equals, I'll say input name. Okay. And if we, it's in English, obviously, so let me refresh this page. Okay, so we'll just say you see that it says input name. You see when it's input name there, and this one you see the name. That's what I meant by title. So those are the titles you can put. You can also put titles in other places. So if I hit submit here, okay, that seems to work. All right, but you see, look, you see it says please include. Yeah, so the title that so I'm saying is you can also do the JavaScript to do the title there, and that'll resolve that problem. And in some browsers, you can actually use the title automatically to fill in this prompt part here. So that's basically the tutorial, nice and simple there. So let's finish up here. And I said if you want to do the interactive demo, I do have one here. You can see here I have English, English Canada, then English French, and you can see it doesn't work in here because this is inside an iframe, so it's not able to read the URL. That's for security reasons. But the form does work. For example, you can see it says please fill out please fill. So this is a different browser. This is based on this is a LibreWolf. It's based on Firefox, so you can see Firefox it does something slightly different. Okay, and this is the screenshot I showed you where I'm trying to tweak the language settings. I said that never worked. I even installed some other this is for Firefox. I tried to do it as well. I wasn't able to do anything different, but here's the screenshots as you guys have seen. And obviously, remember I promised you the live stream. That never worked. Live stream video. I even installed yeah, see, that's me talking. Alright, so let's, as I said, if you want to learn more with additional resources, if you're interested in learning more about web development, you can check out, I have 3 resources for you. One is the Learning JavaScript book. It's available on Amazon. The link is in the description, or you can also search for Jambo. I also have Learning JavaScript. It's a course. It's an online course on jamboshop.com. And I also have one-on-one programming tutorials for you at jambo.com/contact. All the links are also in the description. Of course, it's also here in the article. Okay, and with that said, that's the end of this tutorial. A quick reminder again, I do a live stream every single day at 2 p.m. Eastern. All you'd have to do is go to jambo.com, you go to watch menu, live sub menu, you can see this is the topic for today, and the time, date and time it's in, and tomorrow this is the topic and the day and time as well, 2 p.m. Eastern. And also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. I'm checking the live chat now. I don't see any chat requests for today. So I'm going to end this and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.